Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth. We proudly offer this program with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and United Way of Tarrant County. Our programs are recorded and are made available for future use through a YouTube channel. Today, we are in the kitchen for Cookie Conversations. And we have selected a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie.
Yay.
Woo.
And
That's one of John's favorites.
All right, I'm gonna step away from the camera for 1 second.
Yummy looking.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Don't those look good?
My tummy is looking, saying yummy, yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Oh,
So, this is our recipe, and I'm going to stop the screen share so you can see what's going on in the kitchen a little bit better. This is not the recipe that we talked about earlier in the week, and the reason being is that I did a test bake last night, and once again, I'm grateful that I did. The recipe in this book, this is the one we looked at.
Yeah.
Right?
I noted when we talked about it that it has corn syrup in this recipe, and most cookie recipes don't. But I didn't realize it doesn't have an egg.
Oh,
Ooh.
So apparently the corn syrup is used to make it hold together.
Yeah.
But it was a little more dry than I wanted. And when we get over to the oven, I'm going to show you the difference because I baked these cookies and I baked the recipe that I showed on the screen.
okay.
Okay.
So you'll get to see the difference and you'll actually get to taste the difference because each of you will get one from this book. And then the rest of the cookies will be there. It only made 14 cookies.
Oh my.
My.
Okay.
Low battery.
They must have been rich.
Yeah. So, but again, it didn't have an egg in it. So it was a little different. So we're going to get started with our recipe. And the first thing we need is 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour.
Can you tilt your camera down just a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Wanted to see what your hands were doing.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Start with 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour. And it says to spoon and level it into the cup.
It makes it fluffy.
Yes.
Does anybody sift flour anymore?
I do for some recipes.
Myra doesn't. Myra, you're on mute.
Occasionally, but for the most part, no. I'm lazy.
I do, especially for biscuits.
Ooh. Okay.
Dusty,
The only time I've used a sifter is basically using it with powdered sugar for gingerbread cookies, for gingerbread houses.
Nice.
what's the
We-
biggest difference, Dusty? For
I'm sorry,
what's the big difference for doing it for biscuits?
it makes them fluffier.
I wouldn't have thought of that. I might have
And
to
I-
get it.
When I was in school, I did what you just did with that spoon in the cup. You tapped it.
Uh-huh.
And my instructor would have said, you need to re-sift that because you've just packed it down.
Oh.
Mm.
They were really hard about that kind of thing back in the 60s.
Right.
Well.
Okay, so then
I'm old.
the next things that it calls for is a teaspoon of cornstarch, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt. So I've pre-measured those ingredients in this bowl. I'm going to add that to the mix.
Just like a real cooking show.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
right.
It is.
With the little containers,
Yeah.
I saw these
Cooking
at the
with-
store the other day and I knew I had to have them.
Cooking with Gail.
because they're red.
Yeah,
That's right.
Of course.
fit your mix. They match your kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've got those ingredients together, we're gonna mix that together. And then we need to whisk the butter, the brown sugar, the granulated sugar, the egg yolk, and the vanilla together. So we need 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter, melted and slightly cooled. So I'm gonna step over to the stove and melt this on the stove, and then we'll pull our other ingredients together. So I'll be right back. Feel free to chat while I'm over at the stove.
Talk
Hey,
about yourself.
I got a question. What's the first cooking show you remember watching?
It was right
Oh.
before
Just-
As the World Turns.
Justin Wilson.
Dustin Wilson?
Yeah.
There was one I thought his name was Ramsey or
Gordon
Gordon
Ramsay.
Gordon. No, it's not Gordon Ramsay.
No.
This was a guy. His show that he was usually drunk a little bit, and he drank more on the
Oh.
show.
Justin Wilson.
Justin.
Dustin Wilson.
Justin Wilson.
Okay.
Cajun. He was a Cajun.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
He
How y'all are?
he sampled everything. He tasted everything. He sampled everything.
Especially wine.
Yeah. Didn't have enough flavor. He just threw in some more wine.
Yeah, wine is fine at any time
Yeah.
when you pick those berries from the vine.
There you go. You're a
The-
poet
the-
and don't know it.
The fun ones to watch are the kids baking shows. Cooking
Yes.
shows.
Yes.
They are so much fun because they are so creative. They are not restricted by what adults consider proper
Normalcy.
ingredients and things like that. They just
Yeah.
go, and it's so much fun to see them because they come with so many creative things.
I may have to tune some in.
Yeah, they're really cool. You know,
There's a series right now on HGTV about a kids cooking competition. It's a little more. These kids know how to cook.
yeah. Some of them are like that. Some of them are just beginning
Yeah.
cooking, and then they get into the real serious one where
Yeah,
they've got bake-offs and cook-offs
Bake-offs, yeah,
and
that-
things
yeah,
like that,
exactly.
you know, and more like the adults would do, you know. But even then, the kids sometimes do better than the adults, you
Because
know, in some of their,
you're not
in the
afraid to
crowd.
try something new.
That's right.
Yeah, they're not afraid to try something new,
No.
Exactly.
you know. And they'll say, "Oh, this ingredient doesn't work, so I'll just throw in this," you know, that type of thing, you know.
Right.
And,
I was just the opposite. When I was a kid, I had to follow the recipe to the T, and I didn't learn to substitute and improvise until I was in my 30s or 40s.
So just last year.
Lived through 2 cooking incarnations.
This last year that we were watching, they were baking cakes, and one kid decided to make a lemon cake with chocolate frosting, and the judge did not like the taste of lemon and chocolate together.
Oh,
He said the cake technically was good. He just liked the taste of it.
yeah.
What a shame. And the kids probably loved it.
It doesn't sound good.
No.
Well, the problem is that the judges are usually adults.
Yes.
That's right.
They're not kids.
Yeah.
You know, and so the adults have their own concept of what is good and what's not good.
Yep.
From years of cooking and things like that. And yeah, I'm sure, you know, I've seen it because I've seen cakes like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with chocolate frosting and lemon cakes,
Yeah.
you know, and so that's really not something unusual.
Yeah.
But I guess that judge
But-
just doesn't like it. Didn't
But
like it.
he didn't deduct points because he didn't like it.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Well, if the cake was really, because if the cake is really good, it doesn't make any difference what the frosting is on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No.
easy to take off.
Yeah.
However.
Okay, well, our butter is melted and I have that cooling, and so we're gonna add in our sugars, and we need 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. So I've packed the brown sugar.
Is that light brown sugar or dark brown sugar?
I think this is light.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure.
The
Get the right
recipe
one.
says you can use either.
Okay.
The ones I baked last night, some of them were made with dark brown sugar, and you can tell a little bit of a difference. And then we need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar.
Well, one got a suntan and one didn't.
So have any of you ever watched the British baking show?
Oh, yes.
My kids got me a DVD and a cookbook from the British baking show a couple years ago for my birthday or Christmas.
Oh, did you like it?
I did like it. My husband didn't like it because he said it was too staged, but I liked it.
That's the British.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different type of humor.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we need 1 large egg plus 1 egg yolk.
You're gonna have a full egg and then just the yolk.
Right.
And Gail,
Okay.
you told us that you learned not to put in 2 whole eggs. Is that correct?
That I learned not to.
Yes. You said you put in 2 whole eggs for some recipe a long time ago and learned that you shouldn't have. Never mind.
I think that was the sweetened condensed milk.
Yes.
I used
Yes.
the can and it didn't call for the whole
That's
can.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right. Thank you.
But could you taste a difference in the coconut bonbons that were made with too much?
No.
Oh,
I ate them so gingerly one at a time that I let my palate cleanse in between.
Me too.
We did too.
They were so good and
So
so rich. You only needed one.
that's right. And I thought they were all delicious.
Yeah, I don't think any of us complained about it.
No.
No,
Okay,
I hope you get yours okay.
now that
has Gail ever made anything that wasn't wonderful?
No.
No.
you all have the benefit of my long experience and history of baking. When my children were small, I did make some cookies that weren't good.
And they told you about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. The joke used to be that I made chocolate chip cakes, not chocolate chip cookies.
Oh dear.
Good
Okay,
morning,
so-
Nancy.
Morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Nancy.
Nancy, can you turn your camera down just a little bit so we can see your pretty smile?
I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of the vanilla paste.
And that's really good stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
Perfect,
perfect,
Nancy. Thank you.
The better to see you with, my dear.
And would you believe this jar of vanilla paste is almost gone?
Oh
Wow.
my, that's like gold.
Used it all on us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate it.
Okay,
I-
so
Bottle of vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract.
I didn't know there was a difference, but this is actually the paste from the inside of the vanilla bean. And it has the little spots from the vanilla bean in it.
Yeah.
And that's different from vanilla extract.
Yes.
okay, so now we have the butter that I melted and it has started to cool. And several recipes, cookie recipes that I've used recently talk about melting the butter. It gives the cookie a more nutty flavor. So we're going to add this butter into the mix with the sugars, the egg, and the vanilla.
Those ingredients just even sound wonderful.
It does.
They smell wonderful too. So now we're going to mix that together.
people eat cookie dough.
What was that?
There's a reason people eat cookie dough.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Full of sugar.
Also,
Yeah.
can't wait. And now that that's all incorporated together, we're going to put in the dry ingredients, which I've mixed together. And I got another clear measuring bowl. I got this for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
With the handle, that makes it nice.
We want to do this nice and slow.
The power of gravity.
Yes.
What was that?
I said the power of gravity.
You should make a poem about that, Paulette.
Oh, okay, I'll think about that.
All right, so this smells delicious, but we still have the best ingredients left to add.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
All right, so we are going to use today, we're going to use some Ghirardelli white chocolate, and it calls for a heaping cup. And I've already pre-chopped some, but I need to chop a little bit more. I had to make a run to the store last night because I used up all the white chocolate I had. And it calls for 1 cup or 1 heaping cup, which is about 210 grams.
Oh.
And so we're going to need a whole package plus part of another package. Let's see. I'm going to use my little scale here, and we're going to see what we've got.
Yeah, I like the scales.
Yeah.
So this scale actually allows you to zero the scale.
That's a good one.
Put something
Yeah.
on it. Supposed to. There it is.
Interesting that that would tell you to do a cup full of chopped rather than melted.
Yeah.
Because the macadamia nut white chocolate cookies have chunks in them like chocolate cookies.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
Oh, don't do that.
That's so sweet. I love that.
Thank you.
we're going to see how much we have.
I bet your pantry's just full of good things.
All right. That's 212.
And how much did you
12.
need?
210.
That's close enough.
That's close enough. Yes.
Oh, a little extra, that won't hurt.
Now, this is the whole package plus a half a package plus what I had left from last night, which is about 1/4 of a cup or 2 ounces.
Okay.
Okay. So you said 212 what? Grams or?
Grams.
212 grams.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to take the knife and chop this into chunks.
Nothing better than a chopped chunk.
How many chunks could a chop chunk?
Yeah. Right. if a chunk could chop, it's chop, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If a chunk could chop chunks, I don't know.
It's a great idea.
If a chunk could chop a chunk, how many chunks would a chop?
Chop.
There you go.
Nice.
The word lady.
Folks, I'm going to have to leave today. I've got another Zoom coming on. So
All right.
I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Steve?
Tomorrow's
See you.
music, right?
Sir?
Tomorrow's music?
Yes.
Oh, good. Wonderful. And I
Bye,
will see
John.
you
Or
folks
bye,
tomorrow.
Steve.
Have a great rest of the day.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm just about to get this chopped, but it's gonna have some big chunks in it.
That's a good thing.
Uh-huh.
But it's also gonna have some shavings that are gonna melt. There's our chocolate.
Okay.
Oh, Gail,
So
Yummy.
now,
Done.
that's almost sinful.
yes, and believe it or not, white chocolate, and I think a couple of weeks ago, Martha, you read about the differences between white and dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
To me, these cookies are more sweet than a chocolate chip cookie.
They are.
Okay, so I'm gonna put in the chocolate, the white chocolate,
Which is not chocolate.
which is not chocolate.
That's
That's what
right.
we read about a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there anything different in that cookie dough specifically that you can point to that's different than the chocolate chip cookie dough?
This one has cornstarch in it, and the regular chocolate chip recipe I use doesn't. That's about the only difference. Okay, so now I'm gonna mix the chocolate in.
Okay, I've got a dumb question and I'm embarrassed to ask it, but it's not going to stop me. What exactly does cornstarch do?
I'm wondering what it does in a cookie dough. I know what it does in a pudding or something.
In the recipe.
Okay, what does it do in a pudding?
Thickener.
Thickener.
Thickener. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thickener.
I
Like
had to ask
flour?
Judy.
Okay, so now I'm chopping the macadamia nuts, and it says we want a cup of macadamia nuts. And these are kind of hard to chop because they're
Small and round.
small and round, but they're cut in half, but they don't chop real easily because of their shape. Now, another thing that this recipe says to do, which we're going to skip that step momentarily, is to chill it for 2 hours. And I usually shorten that by sticking it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. But we're going to skip that step so we can get these into the oven. All right, so let's see how much nuts we have.
What does the chilling of it do?
It helps the dough stiffen up so that they don't spread too much when they start to cook. And that's especially helpful if you have a really soft or dough that's a little more runny. This one isn't, so it's going to be okay because I baked some last night without chilling it.
Do you have a special set of knives?
I do. This is a Meissen.
Okay.
And I have a silver one and a black one, and then I have paring knives that match.
Nice.
That's very nice.
Gotcha. Martin bought us a set of Cutco back when he was alive, and I thought Cutco was supposed to be really wonderful, and I keep having to sharpen them.
Yeah.
And I think that really good kitchen knives, you don't have to sharpen very much.
I don't have to sharpen these too often, but I do have a sharpener.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm going to add our cup of nuts and mix those in. All right. So now you can see this dough is a little thicker than normal chocolate chip. So I think we'll be okay not to refrigerate it to get this batch started in the oven. And we're going to use our regular cookie scoop that we've been using to get these just about the right size. I'm going to fill the scoop full, but not overflowing. And I have the oven preheated to 350. And they're going to bake for, it says, 12 to 13 minutes. But last night when I baked them, that was a little bit too long. So I'm going to start out at 11.
That scoop looks huge.
It's really not.
It looks like the size of an ice cream scoop.
Here's an ice cream scoop.
Oh,
yeah.
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 Don wants his cookies with the ice cream scoop.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Hey, John, what's your favorite kind of cookie?
The one y'all are cooking.
That's what I
That's
thought.
right. That's right.
And it's not just because you're cooking it. This really is his favorite kind of cookie.
Okay, so Paulette,
Yes, ma'am.
difference.
Yeah.
This one is an ice cream scoop,
Okay. Thank you.
and it's quite a bit bigger.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, MJ.
Hey, MJ.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello,
Good
beloved.
morning. How are you?
I'm good. Just busy around the house.
Oh.
All right, so now we have our sheet of cookies ready to go in the oven.
Yeah.
And the one on the far end is the size of an ice cream scoop right here.
Really?
Yeah. I was the one on the end.
That's Don's.
That's
I was
Don's.
wondering why there was only one
You
there.
did not have to do that, Gail.
Okay, so I'm gonna pop this into the oven.
It may not get done.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking too.
You'll eat
I
it.
like my cookies underdone.
Ah,
And they don't leave as many crumbs that way.
That is very true.
And I like my cookies a little underdone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So earlier somebody asked what was the first cooking show you ever remember watching?
Yes.
My favorite was Julia Child's.
Julie Child. Oh, yes.
Have you seen the movie Julia?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen the movie Julia?
I think I have.
The gal decides, a young woman in a modern day New York City decides she's going to cook everything in the book in 1 year.
Yes.
Fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah. John said that was a great movie.
Oh, good.
Well, it was. We haven't seen that for a long time.
Maybe time to drag it back out.
It'd be a
That's
fun one
right.
to watch again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Paulette, do you have your poem about the color white today?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, now would be a great time for you to read that while we wait for our cookies to bake.
Okay. I searched and found white. It told me I am all the colors of the visible spectrum and beyond. I am much more than that. I learned that white is awe and reverence. White is now. White is time. White replied that it is both a wave and a particle. I am the speed limit of the universe. Nothing travels faster than I do. I am light. I am the fastest thing.
Good one.
No one can outgrace me. White also added, some people say that God often rides through the universe on the waves and particles of light. White is silent. It's the absence of sound. So when it is so quiet that all you can hear is your own breathing, the pause between breaths is the sound of light moving through the universe. You can only imagine where white has traveled and all the things it has seen. Oh, if only white could talk. Can you imagine the stories It would tell of other worlds and other places and maybe even other universes. White is the silence of clouds drifting by. It is a soft touch of cotton and a feather comforter. It's being tickled by a feather that touches your cheek. White is the softness of falling snowflakes that melt upon your skin. It is marshmallows and meringue on pies, and is milk for your cookies and vanilla ice cream. White is serenity and calm, and just like black, white is magic. White is love, it is purity. White is peace beyond all understanding. White just is.
Love.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Paulette.
Oh, how thrilled I am to be able to read that to you. Oh, thank you.
So we talked a few weeks ago about the difference between white chocolate and dark chocolate. Can anybody recall why
Yes.
white chocolate is not really chocolate?
It's made out of confectionery sugar and some other things, but it has no chocolate beans in it. It's more like,
It has the fat of the chocolate bean in it as opposed to the
okay.
cacao or whatever it is, however you pronounce that chocolate part.
Cacao?
Kale.
The
Yes.
cacao. So it's in this chocolate bar that we used, it says it's sugar, cocoa butter,
Yeah.
non-fat dry milk, milk fat, soy lecithin, and vanilla extract.
If you're going to put non-fat stuff in it, why are you going to do milk fat?
Don't know. Not
So you
sure.
write to them and ask them. And we
Yeah, really.
Google it.
give her a website and some homework.
That's like a lot of people ask, why are you eating a piece of cake with a Diet Coke? But in my opinion, that's a good thing to eat a piece of cake with a Diet Coke because you're not adding additional sugar to the sugar you're taking with the cake.
That's
Oh,
true.
well, if you look at it that way.
Well, my family thinks you eat dessert so you can have a glass of milk.
John thinks that too, don't you, John?
Sometimes.
Milk is good with dessert.
Gail, how does that make you feel?
That you make dessert so you can have a glass of milk?
Yeah.
Well, it's all right because it means I get an opportunity to make something that
Okay.
I can have a glass of milk with. But I don't want a glass of milk with mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that if I eat a bowl of cereal, I just put enough milk on it to get it wet, and then I have to hurry up and eat it before it gets soggy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
I eat my cereal with a fork so all the milk falls out.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Not joking either. I do eat my cereal with a fork.
Yes, she does.
I've always said if it doesn't crunch, it isn't lunch.
True. So I'm going to step over to the oven and see how the cookies are doing. I'll be right back.
All right.
While she's doing that, I have a couple of tips about the biscuits we was talking about a while ago.
Oh, please.
Dusty.
One thing, and I haven't been able to find it here, but there's a flour called white lily flour, and it just by far beats any other flour making biscuits.
Hmm.
But also the another trick is you can preheat your oven 25 or even 50 degrees hotter than you're going to bake your biscuits, and then turn it down to your regular temperature when you put the biscuits in. Therefore, your biscuits sit there without that direct heat and allows the baking powder to work, so your biscuits get more volume. The same thing, it works the same way with cakes.
Wow.
So you get the oven hotter and then you turn it down when you put the biscuits or the cake in it?
Correct. If you're going to bake cake at 350, I usually preheat to 400, and then when I I turn it down to 350, then open the door and put the cake in,
Okay,
and it gives you more volume.
interesting.
Because the element doesn't come on with the direct heat for a while because the oven's already hot.
Okay, does it work the same way with a gas oven?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm going to show you the difference between the two cookie recipes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this cookie here,
Mm-hmm.
this is the recipe that we talked about earlier in the week that's made with corn syrup.
Kind
And
of ugly.
it actually
That looks like egg.
said to press the white chocolate chunks into the cookie after you put it on the sheet. So it had you scoop it on, flatten it, and then press the white chocolate into the top of the cookie.
Hmm.
Hmm.
This is the recipe that we're using today
Much prettier.
with the nuts and the white chocolate mixed into the batter.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that comparison.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, but when I got into mixing that first batch, I thought, how is this going to hold together? Because it only had like a tablespoon of corn syrup in the recipe. And this one has a whole egg plus a yolk. So it still tastes good, but I think it's a little drier.
Mhm.
But this would be a great recipe if you had someone who's allergic to egg yolk.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could use this recipe because it doesn't have egg in it.
Good to know.
Or if you like to dip it in your tea or your coffee.
Yes, very good.
We just learned so much from you, Gail.
Yeah.
Yes,
In
we
the
do.
boxes, you will have one bag that has only one cookie in it,
Okay.
and this is the first recipe.
Okay.
And then the others will probably be 3 to a bag.
Okay.
But they look
Thank you so
so pretty.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
That one looks better than the one you showed us first.
Yes, that was the leftover one that didn't go into the package.
Okay.
I picked out the best ones to go in the packages to mail.
Thank you.
Oh, don't hurt its feelings.
I won't. I'll probably eat it later.
That's right. Once you put it in its mouth, put it in your mouth. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
But
So
Lunch.
why is the non-egg cookie better to dip in tea or coffee?
Because it's dry and it won't fall apart.
Oh,
That makes sense.
okay. A lot of dry cookies, so I would never know that. I don't dip my cookies either, so thank you for the information.
Okay, so the cookies are almost ready to come out of the oven.
Yay.
So we can
Go
take,
check my washer. Be right back.
Okay.
we are gonna make a spin across the kitchen. Don't mind the mess on the table. I'm getting ready for the packages.
Wow.
They look perfect.
Looks good.
Beautiful.
And here's the ice cream scoop one.
Yeah.
Oh, and it
it-
might need just another minute. So I'm going to take these others off of the sheet. One thing to remember when you're baking cookies, if you take them out of the oven at what you want them, the doneness you want them to be, you need to remove them from the cookie sheet right away or they
Yeah.
continue to cook.
That's right.
Very important.
So we're going to go ahead and take these off of the cookie sheet. And then we're going to put the ice cream scoop cookie back in the oven for just a little bit longer.
I pull my cookies out and let them just finish cooking in the pan.
Yes.
You pull them out early?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put this one back in the oven for just a few more minutes.
I noticed you used parchment paper again.
Yes,
Yes.
it helps keep from messing up the cookie sheet.
Yeah.
That's a new cookie.
Yes.
My sister that was on the program last week got it
Yes.
for me for Christmas because it was red.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's red.
We'll see it when it comes out again.
Yeah.
I told you I'm very observant.
Just like that brown sweater she's wearing.
And Martha, you're wearing a shade of brown, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Kind of,
I was commenting that Don and Myra had on purple, and I thought you were wearing purple.
Yeah.
I got a sparkle shirt.
Sparkle shirt. Mm.
let's see.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Ooh.
Very nice, Paulette.
Ah, thank you.
Okay, so
Very
for those of you who like your cookie soft and chewy,
Yay.
Yep. Yay.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
these look perfect.
I like them hard and crunchy too.
And these are really soft. They're still warm.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yummy, yummy.
I can
Perfect.
smell them almost.
You can. And as I mentioned, when we were chopping the chocolate, the shavings,
Mhm.
those actually melted into the batter of the cookie. And then you also have the chunks.
Okay, great.
But when I tested them last night, I found the cookie to be very sweet because the white chocolate is very sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't eat as many of these at once as you can a chocolate chip cookie.
Watch me.
That's
Oh, that sounds like a challenge to me.
You know, of course, that all our tummies are watching these yummy, yummy
Mm,
cookies.
that looks good.
They're
Looks
saying
great.
yummy, yummy and growling.
Looks like it's done.
Huh?
Do you think it's done?
I think it's done.
Or does it need to be a little more brown?
I think it's more what it was.
you're the expert.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty good on the bottom.
It's golden brown on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to tell on camera.
And it is a red cookie sheet.
It is. I hadn't noticed that either.
See?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
where did you find that?
I have no idea. My sister is the world's best gift giver.
Ah,
She's always on the hunt for something that she knows that fits. My red kitchen, or she's always finding some unique thing that I've never seen somewhere.
Was she the one who gave you the goblets to go with the dishes yesterday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, those were so pretty.
I used to do that. I shopped for gifts all the time. I mean, I didn't go shopping for gifts, but anytime I saw something when I was shopping that I knew someone would like, I would buy it and put it in my gift closet until their birthday or Christmas or whatever. And I always had gifts available to give. I didn't have to go think of something and buy it right then because I just did it constantly.
Well, I try to watch for things like that, and I have a couple of things stashed that I found that I was afraid I would never find again, but I'm not ready to give them yet.
I haven't done that in a number of years because I just haven't been shopping. I don't like shopping in the first place, but I haven't actually done any physical shopping in many years now.
One in particular is a game that we got for my daughter when she was in elementary school,
Yeah.
and she was afraid of the game. And I was so disappointed because we had to return it. Because
What game was it? What game was it?
Don't Wake Daddy.
Don't wait, Daddy. Well, that's kind of frightening to start with.
So in the game, there's a character that's in the bed. And whatever the game has you do, you're supposed to do it without waking up the daddy.
Oh.
And whenever the daddy wakes up, it jumps up out of bed, and it scared her. And I wanted so bad to get to play the game, but she was afraid of it. But I found it.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm waiting until my grandson gets a little bit older to give it to her for Christmas.
That's right.
good.
That's a perfect
That
gift.
is so funny.
But don't tell her.
No,
No.
don't wake. I want to look that game up.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
I've seen it again since I found it and purchased it.
What's the name of the game?
Don't wake daddy.
Oh, Don't Wake Daddy.
That reminds me, when I was married to the kid's mother, that I was baker, of course, and I had to sleep odd hours, so I'd sleep when the family was up, and I woke up more than once to screaming of, "You kids be quiet! Your daddy's trying to sleep."
Oh,
Well, my husband worked for the railroad, and he used to have to sleep odd hours as well.
Give me some medicine.
Which railroad did he work for?
He worked for Burlington Northern and Union Pacific both at 2 different times.
My uncle worked for the Katy Railroad.
Oh. My granddad worked for the Rock Island Line.
Oh,
Don't Wake Daddy was made in 1992, and the short description is the nighttime munchies strike, but don't make noise because Daddy's gonna wake up.
Whoa.
and that would have been the year that we purchased it, because she would have been about 2 years old. So we bought it when it was a brand new, first came out game.
Cool. It's a 20-minute game for 2 to 4 players, but the community thinks it's best with 3. Ages 3+, but the community says 4 to 6. The community is the Board Game Geek
Yeah.
community.
And probably if we had waited till she was a little older, she might not have been afraid of it.
Probably.
It wasn't the only game that she was afraid of.
There might be a theme there.
Go cookies.
Okay, so the next batch of cookies is in the oven. And I'm setting the timer for 11 minutes. So that concludes our baking session for today.
Thank you, Gail.
Yay.
Can't wait for you to
It's
taste.
such a good job, not that it's over.
Can't wait for you to taste the delicious cookies that we've baked today.
Yes, and they're calorie free. Made them and you love us so much.
Been waiting for you to say that, so it's okay to eat them, Paulette.
That's right.
You know, I just thought of one thing about the soft cookies. You can't break them as easily to let the calories fall out.
That's right.
So there's a
Yeah.
thought. Yeah.
Go out like butterflies.
I'm gonna start doing that. Thank you. Good tip.
All right, well, let's see what's up for tomorrow.
You all are so wonderful. You make my morning.
I know.
The
This is a
screw.
great group. I love it. I just look forward to this all week.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oop.
Sure needed a break
There you go.
today.
There we go.
Tomorrow is Friday, January the 8th, and Texas Winds will be with us for quarantine trio. That's a hard word to say.
Yeah.
And trio.
Or in trio.
Horn trio, a violin, a viola, a bass, and jazz vocals.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
wow.
Good.
So
That's
that'll
it.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Gail.
look forward to that.
As
I
somebody
do too.
said, this is a really nice break from all that's going on in the country right now. So I'm very happy
Absolutely.
to have time to just have fun and talk to friends.
That's a good note, Janine.
Yes, Gail brings us sweetness and light.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gail.
Thanks.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Gail.
Yes,
See you
everybody
guys
have a
tomorrow.
wonderful day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Myra.
Bye.
Dustin.
Thanks for joining
Bye,
us, Mary
Paula.
Jane.
Thank you, Gail. This
All
was
right, bye-bye.